Hello, it is week 10 of Prepared Attack, the final week of the regular season. It is bash time, which is why we are in the beautiful night sky at 1,000 views. And my headphones are broken, so I'm on earbuds and everything sounds incredibly weird while I'm talking this much. With that said, I am facing off today against my very good friend, Zonk, and we are, in fact, both qualified for playoffs already. Due to tiebreakers, even if I lose 0-2, I still just beat out Bulorex, who's in 9th at the moment, by head-to-head. If I win, if Zonk wins, Zonk is guaranteed, I believe, 3rd in the standings. If I win, I am guaranteed, I believe, 7th. If I lose, again, I believe I end up 8th in the standings, and I have to play Dino first round, which, admittedly, I am excited to potentially do. But with that said, hoping to close the season out with a win here, because having a winning record in the regular season would be super nice. Like being able to say, oh yeah, I went 6-4. I'm at 5-4 at the moment. My point differential, no matter what, or my game differential will be positive no matter what. I have had enough 2-0s this season, and my losses have been a bit closer. But either way, last week before playoffs, I am in, Zonk is in. We know the 8 people who are moving on to playoffs, and I am super excited about it. With that said, Zonk's team here is a scary array of beasties. They are currently 8-1, potentially moving up to be the 3rd coach at 9-1 in the regular season if they beat me here. And it's no surprise, they have a lot of really strong beasties. Dugout, obviously, very threatening. Spirit Attacker when combined with a Heatwave user such as Mudsley or Delusia here. We're also just being able to support its team with Torch Pass. Can also run overwork sets, but I think Zonk is much more likely to just run the classic Grit Chant Torch Pass. Lunoptera here, able to do plenty of stuff. Just an incredibly versatile beastie, especially in draft format. Has very good body attack, but can also be super supportive. It gets both Faith and Confident Pass. Not too worried about either of those as much as I am about Cheer, potentially, but also, again, Torch Pass, Dreadful Mist. Just plenty of really good utility moves for like keeping its own team up while also being able to just come in and tank huge hits with both Vampire and Survivor contributing to its ability to stay on the field for a lot of time. After that, we have Mudsley, fantastic Heatwave user now that Moist has been buffed. Very good defenses, pretty close defenses to the same line that Scaldra has. Interestingly enough, they have a very similar defensive profile. But Mudsley, obviously a bit more of a mind attacker, able to boost itself up with stuff like Meditate if it wants to, which I think either Zonk or another Mudsley user did in a recent match to great effect. Obviously able to serve with Spitball, which is what I am predicting here. I'll get into that in a bit. Delusia, great utility stall beastie. Worth noting, Mudsley and Delusia both have clear field. Delusia also able to click stuff like Cyclone, Patience. Overall, just disrupt your offensive tempo very effectively while not taking all that much damage itself, because its body defense and mind defense are so fantastic, and its spirit defense still hits 98 when fully invested, which is quite good. Not too shabby on the attacking side either, able to do things like Click Zinger, Hyperspike, Boom as a more utility attack. Varkabond is here, obviously fairly threatening mind attacker, especially if it runs a telekinesis set. Can also go a little more simple with just like Twist and a whole bunch of supporting moves, chilling in the back row, not really like dissuading you from hitting it because of unpredictable, and just tanking hits with its pretty dang good defenses, honestly. Obviously not as like impressive as some of the other beasties on this team, but still like a very good spread. Hard to break through if it's fully invested, and I mean, if it is running an offensive set with like Net Rush, Telekinesis, Slice, or Dump, or Freeze Ray even, it can output quite a lot of damage. Armantis, also threatening Mind Attacker, can run body attacks, probably won't. But Sneak Attack is this thing's best friend, obviously able to get it to the front row, to either enable Monster Block or Power Forward, as well as Ricochet, which next to, say, a Cheer Lunoptera is very threatening, next to a, like, double Provoke Vagabond, and very good defenses as well to be able to support it, sticking around in the front row, and again, making it really hard to want to hit it. UFL also here, able to trap things on the field. I think it's fairly unlikely that it's coming because I've brought Iligas every single week since I picked it up, and that thing falls over to Mind Attacks. Calcroach also here, again, unlikely to come, but still, like, 85 Mind Attack is a lot, especially for, like, unmetamorphed Beastie. That said, I think I know what's coming here. I'm not 100%. It's going to be some of the first 6 for obvious reasons, the other 2 being babies, but I think it's going to be probably Vagabond Left Behind and then the other 5. Because body attacks are sort of the biggest threat from my team between Masquerade, Crabberay, and Boulder. I think it's fairly likely that Vagabond, with its relatively low body defense, may be left behind. And we'll see, in some order, Dugout, Lunoptera, Mudley, Delusia, and Armantis. What I've decided to do about this is, and I'll get into the team, just simply lead with Sting. Because Zonk is serving. I see 2 things that Zonk is likely to serve with. One of them is Armantis clicking Sneak Attack, which, making it tired, is very good at dealing with. The other is Musley leading with Spitball, and then clicking Heatwave on Counterserve, which I also really don't want to happen. And Sting is a super reliable way to make sure that neither of those things are an immediate threat to me. With that said, even before I put Sting on, but even after I put Sting on, I've been waffling a whole lot over what kind of team I wanted to bring here, and I ended up just thinking, I'm gonna go with hard offense. I'm gonna try and pick up lots of tempo early and hopefully not lose it over the course of the match. So we have Iligas with Trapper, not going too hard into the traps here because, again, Mudsley and Delusia do both have clear field, and I think at least one of them is likely to have it against my drum team, as well as, you know, Iligas with Trapper potential. Slice as a sideways move, again, to, like, cause issues and make it harder for Zonk to click things like Heatwave. And Call Out to support all of the other attackers on the team and allow them to sit in the front row more, which is super useful when I'm running next to it. Or, well, some things I have, obviously the front row Boulder with Prepared Attack Ricochet, but I've also included Net Rush Opera in order to, like, get it to the front, hit Zonk in their weakest defense in the Spirit aspect. So I wanted to see, okay, let's get Hopper to the front row as easily as possible and also let it survive a bunch with Call Out. Hopper also slotting Cheer here to support any of the other attackers. I figured there wasn't really a more useful move. I could run Shield or something, but I think by the time I'm going to be clicking Shield, there's probably going to be either a Provoke user, either a Provoke Armantis or a Dread from Lunoptera on the field. So I've gone with Cheer here. We'll see if I come to regret it. Crabberay here, Zinger, Provoke, Counter. Ideally, I'll be able to, like, tag it into the front row to take some attacks, but that's fairly unlikely. With that said, though, I have statted it specifically to take less than 100 stamina damage from a Dugout clicking Grit from the back row if Crabberay is at the net, or a Dugout clicking Grit from the front row or at +1 if Crabberay is in the back row. We'll see if that's a good idea or not, but I just wanted to make sure, like, I don't lose a point there. Not sure how it's going to play out, but Zinger provoke counter is super good. I might slot Chant back on for cheer on Habra, honestly, but I could also do that on Scurry. I don't know. It's been a lot of thinking. You'll notice I have decided to drop Noizard this week, which was a really tough decision because I think that like Rattle Noizard would be super good at disrupting Zonk's team and keeping it low, especially when slotted next to Illigus, but I just decided that I want to make progress because if at any point Zonk gets a heat wave off, they're going to start making a whole lot more progress compared to me. But yeah, Zinger here to try and force Zonk to not use defensive actions in order to, you know, basically force a tag out so that Zonk doesn't lose a point. We'll see if that works or not. Counter obviously fully invested in the spirit attack here. Again, just trying to hit Zonk where it hurts. Boulder here, prepared attack, ricochet, feint, up in the front row, full mind defense, just because that's the stat I'm more worried about in terms of there being more beasties that hit on that aspect than the spirit aspect. And while dugout is scary, I have decent enough spirit defense by way of Hopra already and Masquerade's natural spirit defense. That's the hardest part of not bringing Noizard is I'm not having its like fantastic defensive profile into this team. But feint here so that even if you don't hit the Boldler, it still is able to get off a pretty strong ricochet if it wants. And lastly, just rounding out the team, Juggle, Stop, Drum, Groove, Masquerade. Boulder, of course, is armored to try and take hits better on switching. And we will see how this goes. I'll be perfectly honest going into this, I am not expecting to win this one. With that said, we will see. Does not look like Zonk has a lobby up yet, so let me get that started. And let me make sure my rules are correct. Zonk is serving, so that's right side. Points to win. Extended time limit. Undo on. Cool. Yeah, not super expecting to win here again. I think Zonk's team matches up incredibly well into mine with all of those clear field shenanigans and fantastic defenses. But we'll see. It would be cool to pull out against a win. I do consider them a little bit of a rival as much as we're so often collaborators in the team building space. But, again, we will see. If I do pull out the win, that means I'm the 7th seed and I'll probably be playing, I believe, Chalk in round 1. Get a rematch against that team from, I believe, week 3, which is when I brought Spirit, but that was decidedly a bad decision. Again, if I lose, though, I am going up against Dino, which should be a fun time, even if I don't expect to take home the win there. But either way, turn my mouse on. And let's see how this goes. All right. Yep. That's the 5 I expected. Delusia listed as first, so it'd be interesting to see if there's a boom coming out here. Either way, yeah, Mudsley is not next to Dugout, so it does actually look like Delusia is leading, which makes me think maybe I want to lead with Crab and Boldler. Crab obviously able to get a provoke off, or a double provoke if Boulder is hit. But Delusia, if serving, will likely be serving with either Zinger or Boom. I think with Zonk's playstyle, probably more likely to be Boom. So let's scratch everything. Never mind, it's the Armantis. I feel like an absolute fool. With that said, I can still get a provoke off here. I think what's almost certainly going to happen here is the sneak is going into the crab. But if it does go into the crab, that means armored is preserved, which is super nice. Could just probably provoke the Armantis here. Either that or double feint counter. Let's check damage on this. I think that's gonna not kill through monster block. Yeah, it'll do 91 though, which is dang good. And that'll make it awfully hard for Zonk to click Dread next turn, which is pretty interesting. And I think this is still the right play. I think this is the most damage I can get off this turn, and I don't mind if Crab gets blocked here. Notably in the back, Mudsley with Patience. Yeah, Heat Wave on Delusia. I always forget Mudsley gets Patience. Yeah, we see the block into Crab. 80 damage, right, because its defense was lowered. But Ricochet not doing a whole lot of damage here. Dread here gonna put Armantis super low. Ricochet not doing a huge amount of damage because it's not power forward. I think I'd probably maybe like to go... Hopper here isn't a good call though, because then it'll be like just above High Spirits unless Dread gets set up. If Dread gets set up, then Hopper is fantastic here. Because that means I can get a net rush off. So I think I am going to go Hopper. Yeah, we see Dread. Move to the back row and Ricochet. Okay. So that's good stuff. Ricochet here doing a lot of damage. Bring the heat from the front row. Doing more to everything except for Mudsley. Except if I cheer... I think the right play here is cheer and Ricochet and hope it's Mudsley. We'll see. It may just be a block into Hopper as well. It is Mudsley. Perfect. Okay, so we get a drain there. That means Zonk is kind of screwed this turn. No attack able to be made, so I could just put Hopper to the front here. I want Hopper to stay on the field here because I don't have a Torch Pass. So I would like it to eventually just drain to Dread or an attack. And I can move up to the front row here for more threats. Either way here, I get either a double feint or a double cheer off. Yeah, and I mean, Bring the Heat just knocks out Lunaptor now. With that said, Bring the Heat also just takes a point straight up if I attack the Mudsley slot. Ricochet deals a lot of damage to pretty much anything over here. Yeah, I think I'm more interested in hitting the Lunoptra here, prevent a torch pass, or I deal a whole bunch of damage to the dugout. So it can chant into Spitball here. I think I go Crab. Yeah, I mean, as much as that means Hopra doesn't go down, I'm just basically blowing up Zonk's team as much as I possibly can early. Dugout does have Torch Pass. I can't provoke it, unfortunately, so we might see a Torch Pass into, like, Armentis here. With that said, I think I want Crab in the back row, and just to click Ricochet. Counter does, like, no more damage to Delusia than Ricochet at this point, so I'm just gonna Ricochet into the Mudsley. Yeah, we see a Torque Pass into the Armentis, which makes sense. I can send a Zinger out, so it has a hard time staying on the field. No forward pass, so no way to get it to the front here, unless it walks forward. If it does walk forward, well played, Zonk. But we see the Lunoptra. Dread down. Yeah, my bench is, like, kind of screwed at the moment, so I definitely want to give up a point here. Question is, how do I want to reposition? And I think the answer is I would really love Illigus on the field. And maybe wouldn't love it taking dread damage. Ooh, we see the power sap. Okay. Counter doesn't KO here, unfortunately. Crab's gonna go down. I think I'd just like to make sure this isn't an easy receive. The Armentis can't walk forward safely. We see the Delusion come in. Smart play, smart play. Probably volley shake off power sap here. I am in a real bad position, though, if I can be perfectly honest. We see power sap into Crab, which I'm fine with, because I can now click call out. But yeah, this might be real rough. Call out gonna help Masquerade survive whatever comes out next. Yeah, I really shouldn't have tagged out Hopra. I really shouldn't have pressed the advantage as much, because I didn't have, like... This is a 3-point game. It's not a 2-point game. And I am gonna struggle to keep up momentum, especially towards the end here. At least Crab is down, which helps. And I do still have points to work with, but I have very little stamina on like any of my beasties. We see Heat Wave clicked. Probably Boom here. I could Sting Lunoptera, actually. That seems like a decent call. Putting myself in a pretty rough position here. But I forced the Lunoptera to not be able to Torch Pass, which is the most important thing. But yeah, my entire team is going to be drained now, so yeah, actually, there's no way out of this one. Okay. Rough start. And part of the issue was that I just let my team get way too unhealthy way too quickly. And didn't bring a chant user, which was something I was thinking real hard about. I think at some points I had like 2 chant users, but just never got drum off, which was probably a mistake, considering how potent Heat Wave obviously is. Alright, we do get Hopper down. But I don't think I'm gonna get back up in time. Yeah, no, because, I mean... Yeah. Right. Just no way out of that one. Okay. So, this time we're leading Illigus. Get the traps up early. And there isn't a clear field, so I am actually kind of annoyed about not bringing Lay Trap and Tornado Ball or something, but it was a very strong possibility, so like I don't blame myself for not bringing it in this situation, because my team relies like so heavily on those field effects. But either way. Oh, and now it's the Delusional lead. Okay. Or... Well, that's fine, because now I just click Sting here. No Heat Wave allowed. Grit doing kinda nothing right now. I could just go for it here. There's only one Quake, so it's not that unreasonable to start like this and just slice the front row. If Dugout moves to the front, that's like fine, because I can block the Delusia and the Dugout itself won't deal much damage. We see Delusia move to the front. That makes some sense, I suppose. It's gonna be dugout attacking. So, I mean, there's no reason to not just block dugout here. Chant used meant I could have clicked Sting, interestingly enough. But, double cheer into slice here does quite a lot of damage, but it's going to be a heat wave. With that said, Delusia goes down. So, I mean, I'm just going to click call out. Get Hopper's defenses up. And this is kind of the ideal situation for this team, I think, is... Hopper has defense boosts. Does not have defense boosts anymore, but I've got an early point again. I almost certainly don't want Dugout being able to move forward and attack here, so I think I'd like to hit it for sure. 37 damage is a good amount. We see Dread into Power Sap here. Crab coming in will be able to deal a lot of damage to this Lunoptera. Although I could also just sting it here. I think stinging it is better because hopefully what Zonk does is attacks the Ilias. Yeah, okay. So I successfully go down there, and that means I can get Crab in much more easily. Or I could potentially go Scurry, and I honestly think Scurry's probably better here. Especially while that Dugout's still on the field. And yeah, I mean, here I can get drums up. Bring the Heat not doing very much damage. So yeah. Drums up into Stomp does seem like the best call here. Dugout from the front row will be able to take out Hopera, which I kind of want. Yeah, 2 Torch Passers is a little rough for me to deal with. Lunoptera just moves to the front, but that's good. I think that Zonk was expecting me to hit the Dug there, maybe. But either way, I'd love for Hopper to go down here. Masquerie can't move forward safely here. With that said, though, Hopper going down would mean that I only have 1 more point to give up, which is kind of rough. But again, Iligas will be back up. Could I move Hopper to the front? Hopper to the front would be silly, and I like it. The reason why I think I'm going to do that is because it allows me to tag in Boldler if Hopper doesn't get hit here. But no, we do see Hopper knocked out, which is pretty ideal. Don't keep the boost on Scurry, but either way here, Zonk's either taking like a big stomp or a counter. And I can prevent like a Torch Pass if I wanted to. Counter really doesn't do as much as I'd like. With no sideways moves, I almost certainly just want to stay in the back row, especially if I'm clicking juggle. Juggle into stomp isn't super worthwhile, and if someone is torch passing here, which one of these is it? Dread is not down in a moment. So I think I'd like to provoke the dugout and just smack it real hard. If Lunopter moves to the front again, that's rough, but I can deal with it. Again, I have a full health Bowdler, and I have a Illigus who can come in. We see the Delusia. Okay. Probably shake off into Boom here. Grit is able to take out Crab, so we are absolutely switching. We see Grit clicked, makes sense. Dugout going to drain here. I have a couple options. I think Mudsley is likely to come in pretty soon. If I slice, Slice is kind of appealing, but I think I'd rather have someone in the front. Would I rather have someone in the front? Who would I want in the front? Why would I want someone in the front? I'd like Illigus in the front, actually, oddly enough, because that'll allow me to tag in Bowdler here. Yeah, or Hopra just in the front row, and I have a Masquerade in the back who's already a threat. We see Heatwave clicked. In the clouds, obviously very good against Drum. I kind of forgot about that entirely during prep. Grit gonna do a fair amount of damage here, but I can get in safely, and there's no Dread on the field, which is important. We see Delusional click Shake Off, which is expected. I get a Ricochet here if I want one, which I certainly do because I would love Drum to be back up. With that said, if Drum isn't up, I have no way of knocking out the Delusia, so yeah. We're absolutely clicking Drum Ricochet here. I definitely want to hit whatever's not the Delusia, because I want to make sure that Glacier here, the Bowdler, is not threatened out. We see our Mantis come in. Glad to get a whole bunch of damage onto that. It's probably fairly likely to either sneak attack or provoke here. I think what's more likely is a snake. It's definitely likely to be a provoke here, I think. Ricochet can't be clicked, so I'd actually love Masquerade in the front. With that said, if it's a boom, that's a little bit rough. Do I need Masquerade in the front, I guess, is another related question. And Masquerading in the front would be real nice. Especially if it doesn't get hit here. I don't know if I have this one. I'm very behind in terms of points. And Zonk's bench is not exactly unhealthy. we see provoke into the bowler and boom. Gotcha. So I can actually let Masquerade drain here, which is really quite fantastic. With juggle into stomp, I'll just go down to sweat even after the drum. I can even juggle twice, nicely enough. And that allows me to knock out the Delusia. Wow, that's math. Yeah, we're hitting that Delusia as hard as we can. Might not have been the best call because the Delusia isn't like a super big threat, but I also really don't want it clicking Heat Wave again. I think what's going to happen... Okay, our Mantis runs to the front. I'm incredibly fine with that. Prepared attack not doing too much damage here. But again, Masquerade goes down here, which is super nice. I think I'd like chip on whatever's not the Armantis. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be the Mudsley. Unfortunately, I think this attack is almost certainly going into the Bowdler. I'm not 100%. I could actually go Illigus here. And I kind of want to. I don't know if it's a good call or not. Oh, counter off of Crab is probably a better call. Gets Provoke on the field. We see Calming Aura, right? Yeah, okay, healing. I can just click Prepared Attack at the Mudsley again. Like, I definitely don't want to hit the Armantis here. Obviously, hitting the Mudsley does mean that another Calming Aura goes off, but what's helpful about it is it means my Bowdler is, like... My Bowdler is, like, virtually immune to this Armantis, which I think is going to be pretty useful. And I mean, Crab is getting blocked here. There is no question that Crab is getting blocked here because Zonk needs... Either Crab is getting blocked or the Lunoptra's coming out. If the Lunoptra comes out, I'd really love to hit it, but I don't think... Oh, it is the Lunoptra. Okay, Zonk predicted the Provoke. I did not go for the Provoke. Fair enough. Power Sap here, not threatening much. I can just send Bowdler to the front now. Yeah, now we have that lovely little ricochet counter situation set up. So either way, either I get a ricochet off and a double provoke, or I get a double feint into counter off. Mudsley, of course, is on the field, so it can click Patience. Yeah, we see the Power Sap into Aquaria. Drum's unfortunately down. Mudsley is moist. I think Patience is a likely click here. With that said, smacking this Lunaptra would be real nice, and if the Delusia comes in, I'm like fine with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with a Patience here because this Spitball is not going to do too much damage. Our Mantis is off the field at the moment. If Delusia comes in, we see Calming Aura into Spitball. Shit. Well, that's rough. Didn't even get the provoke off, huh? Well, it gets Masqueray another turn closer, and I mean, Crab isn't going down here. So I can block the Lunaptra, because it's definitely the Lunaptra attacking. Unfortunately, that does mean the Dugout is also closer to coming back up, which is rough because obviously it can Torch Pass. We're not going to mess that up this turn. I think Lunaptra is probably blocking the Boulder here. Either that or someone's tagging in. If the Armantis tags in, which it can do, that's actually a nightmare. With that said, counter does knock it out, so it shouldn't be able to tag in theory. I think I'd just like to go for the point here. The question is, it is inherently here. It's not a 50-50 for the game, but I was late again. Oh man. My clicking is off right now. Well, I mean, sure, I guess. I can send Hopra in now. I can't send Iligas in. I could be incredibly silly and shove Glacier to the side. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, okay, okay. Ricochet now knocks out Lunaptra. Lunaptra has to switch now. It cannot stay in. Dugout can come in. And will take the hit, tragically. If Zonk sees that, then well played. Yeah. I don't think there's any way on this one. Yeah, I mean, I timed out twice. Grit here, gonna do enough Oh, well, that wasn't a great way to end the season. Yeah, unfortunately, Masquerie is not back up anywhere near in time. And I don't have Chant available, so... Play for the misclick, but yeah, no. Good games. I had no way out of that. Man, that was rough. Okay. 0-2. I once again failed to take a game off Zonk. Rough. Okay, 2 timeouts. How to win Beastieball PvP? Don't do that. I almost had the second ricochet off. I almost had the second ricochet off. And then I just was clicking feint again.
Yeah, that was rough. It's like the same turn twice in a row, and you timed out both times. I mean,
I still had a shot. I just didn't quite get it.
Yeah.
The dugout taking 99, was that calced?
No. It has no investment.
That sucks.
Nope.
Can we give Boldler one more mind attack? No reason.
Damn.
I mean, I knew this match was rough, but I certainly didn't do myself any favors there.
Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, my only mind investment was 6 on my Mudsley. 6 mind.
Okay, well, I'm glad I went at least one of the right directions with my build.
Oh yeah. No. You're going for the ricochet plus max invest slice was scary for sure.
Yeah, like I saw how much Illigus did. I was like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damage.
I mean, obviously I was prepared for body attacks.
Yep.
Given your like crab plus Mascuri, but I was also like definitely prepared for. I mean, and Hopra terrorized me.
For sure.
Before in this
it tends to do
league,
that.
So I was quite afraid going into this. And also I figured you might bring counter crab, which you did.
I did. I certainly did.
So tons of spirit investment.
That explains a lot. Yeah, I was like, so dang, this crab is not doing as much as I'd like. This Hopper is not getting kills.
Yeah, I calced like 3 different Hopper super commit things, and then you didn't even bring super commit. But like, it's
yeah, I realized that super commit would be just incredibly rough. Not being able to move afterward.
Yeah, when you can't tag out and you can't shield because of Dread.
Yeah.
I figured. Yeah, Dread is
good. It's a good move.
Dread is good. I actually haven't been able to use Dread as much as I'd like this draft league. I think I only brought it like half the time.
Interesting. What makes you like not be able to bring it?
I mean, mostly it was like either I just look at the matchup and I'm like, does Dread really do that much? Or I feel like Lunoptera really has to be the beastie that doesn't come this week.
Right.
Or just for like stats reasons. Or sometimes I really want Clearfield.
Yep. I was a little surprised to not see you bring Clearfield here. I had in the builder for a while like a Traps Tornado Ball team, and then I put it away. I'm like, Zonk has 2 Clearfield users. Surely it's coming against my drum team.
I was almost going to do that, but then I was like, I have Delusia and Dugout and Shake Off for the Delusia, like... and I almost brought Clearfield on Mudsley, but I did Calming Aura instead. I'm not sure which was correct.
Well,
But I was like,
Commodore
I
certainly
really want my dread to
worked
stick.
out considering I, timed out twice in a row.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, this play is great when your opponent times out.
Unfortunate reality of things.
Yeah, no, Clearfield has been very good for me this draft league, for sure.
It's a very good move. Yeah, I mean, I just had an incredibly rough time that first game. I'm like, whoa, I have so much damage. And then suddenly my entire team was just dead.
Yeah, I mean, you scared me in that first game with how much damage you had, especially off of Bold Lure.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
the mistake was switching Hopper out. I think I needed to leave it in. But, yeah, I mean, Heatwave is just incredibly good into my team in particular, especially off of Delusia, because I can't prevent it, basically.
Yeah, the first thing I saw when I decided when looking at your team was I need Heatwave on Delusia. Like that.
Yeah,
that's
smart.
non-negotiable.
I entirely forgot about In the Clouds during prep. I also, the intended lead was always Iligas Hopra, but then I saw Delusia up front, and I'm like, what if Delusia's, leading with Boom here? Is Sting all that useful? Yes, it would have been just that useful. And you led with the Armantis anyway.
Good.
So I have some regrets about how I played the
second game. I led with
game.
Delusia, and Sting was also just as useful. So
yeah, it was just as useful, but yeah, I mean, not the best showing from me, but hey, you move up to 9-1, and I think you're second in the standings now, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that does clinch second. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got second seed and potentially an easier schedule. Probably playing, I believe, Balamar in round 1. The standings don't quite reflect it because I haven't figured out how to factor head-to-head into the spreadsheet formulas in a way that makes sense. But I do actually have the edge over Boolerex because we did play week 1, so I get to play Dino first week.
Oh boy! All right,
it's gonna be fun.
Could you beat Dino for me? Thanks.
I'll try my best. But yeah, I mean, that's playoffs all set. For people on stream who are wondering what the standings are, I can't scroll up enough. But Dino's in first in the standings, so it's going to be Dino versus me, Zonk versus Balamar, Chalk versus Igor, and Wacky Worms versus King of Charge. Oh man, I'm excited to watch some of those. Actually, some of the stuff in the middle there might still change a bit. I think Wacky Worms has basically clinched fourth, assuming Igor doesn't win both of his last 2 matches. They had a little bit of delay due to life circumstances on the part of one of the players. I forget who, but there's a chance that if Igor wins both these matches, and Wacky Worms loses, I think Igor does clinch fourth. But either way, I know who I'm playing, and you know who you're playing, so we gotta get to prepping.
True.
I haven't bashed it all this weekend because I've been so scared about this match.
Oh really? I just haven't been thinking about Beastieball at all.
That's understandable. Burnout is real.
I've been doing Thanksgiving things.
That too.
And making Silk Song arrangements.
Understandable. Hey, if you're a YouTube viewer, go check out Zonk's YouTube channel. I believe it's Liam Bartholomew Music, right?
Yeah. That's
and you can watch all of her Silk Song arrangements and plenty of other arrangements. He is fantastic at playing violin. Go watch it. Seriously. Cannot stress this enough.
You're too kind.
And yeah, I mean, hell, second seed. Good luck in playoffs.
Thank you, and best of luck to you as well.
Thank you.
Again, I'm counting on you to beat Dino. Come on, you can do it.
I'll do my best. If I don't, then hopefully for your sake, one of Wacky Worms or Charge or Igor does it.
I mean, obviously, I got to get through a couple of tough matchups before I even get to think about facing Dino, but
Yep, you would be facing off in
you
finals.
know, my seeding at least gives me the luxury of not having to stare that down immediately.
Dino did in fact lose against Ballamar this week, interestingly enough. I think it was Ballamar.
Yeah,
was it Ballamar?
Sure did.
I believe it was, yeah. So, not undefeatable. No one in the league in either these divisions or the Neural Net division went undefeated, which is super fun. Shows that, like, even the best draft teams can be beaten with, you know, the right setup.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got, like, absolutely destroyed by Boolarex, who just like really hard countered my team in team building. I mean, not like hard countered, but they were good games still. But
yeah, your team is just so well built that it's hard to hard counter it, I think.
but if you want a good lesson, I mean, it requires, obviously, I've taken some lessons away from that match as well, and I'm hoping to kind of think better about how I'm building my teams in regards to that. But yeah, if you're looking at facing against me in the playoffs and want a lesson in how to beat this setup,
yeah, go watch that match in particular. All right. Well, thank you so much for the chat. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
And to all the YouTube viewers, thank you for watching. Consider leaving a like, subscribing, following me on Twitch for speedrun content and stuff. That's all in the description. And have a good time zone.